This pretty little girl was at the center of one of the most famous cases all year. It's Dannielynn Smith, Anna Nicole's daughter with Larry Birkhead. So what's a day's like with baby Dannielynn? We sat down with Larry over the summer where we saw them together for the first time. Larry, so where are we?
We are in California in what is hopefully home for me and Dannielynn. As of right now, I guess I'm taking it day by day to see how this is going to go, because it's kind of a little bit emotional coming back here, and just try to see if we can make it through that, and maybe this will be our final spot.
You'd lived here with Anna some time ago. I mean, a lot of your life was here.
It was, just because you just see things that, you see things that are reminders, and you see things that, I guess that you look at the little things sitting around you. It's almost like you have the woulda, shoulda, couldas coming out, and, what if things were different, and maybe I should have done this, or could I have done this to help and do this, and then maybe we would be here under different circumstances, but
Danny lived here as well.
She want to come look at that? Make sure it's okay. Yeah, he was here, and he lived here, and basically everybody stayed here. And so it was
harder than you expected?
Yeah, because there's all this life that was here.
Did you love Anna Nicole?
Yeah, I sure did. I still do, but it's like, what do you. And I think probably for her, and looking back, I might have loved her too much, because maybe that scared her, because she was, she always had these people buzzing around her. She didn't know what they wanted, or what they were all about, and something about us, even if we fought, or we always made our way back to where we would get along again, and there was plenty of times with Anna. She had the opportunities, and she always, if she got mad at you, she would write you off in a second. And something about our relationship, she never did that to me, and so I felt like that there was definitely, something special there. Of course, we have our daughter, which is, evidence that, that we had, a special relationship. But I think that sometimes that it was probably too normal for her.
Do you think if Anna were here and I said, did you love Larry Birkhead, what would she say?
I think she would say yes. I think during the time of our relationship, not a lot of people knew that we were in a relationship. And I think she was getting more comfortable in the fact that once she was pregnant, she knew that people were going to know. So she was coming around to where, even with her friends that would come over, where they knew, we just didn't broadcast, and it's not like we were sitting far apart from each other, or that we, it was obvious that we were in a relationship, but we just never felt the need to say, this is my girlfriend, this is my boyfriend, or whatever. And also, I think that the people that have a need to do stuff like that and say those things, it's like they're after something that's other than the relationship, And I really didn't even care. I didn't even care if anybody knew or who cared. People back, limited amount of people back home knew. But I think that, as our relationship was coming to an end, even though I wasn't sure that's where it was headed to, and I don't even think that Anna was sure that's where it was headed to, I think she was becoming more comfortable with that, and when like certain friends would come over, she'd say, "Take a picture of me and Larry together," and you'd almost want to say, "Wait a second," because that wasn't something that was ever important to her, or just the acknowledgement. She didn't really, or you would not think it was important. It was important between us, and at the end of the day, you know, we had an accountability to each other towards, you know, what our actions and our, you know, it wasn't like I was going to be out dating somebody else. She wasn't going to be out dating somebody else, but it was nothing that we had to like tell everybody. You know.
It must have made you crazy then when she left pregnant with your child. You knew it was your child, and she basically got mad at you and shut you off and went to the Bahamas. And you fought for your child.
Well, and then you take the flip side of that and you say, well, maybe I should have bragged about dating Anna Nicole. More people would have known, and I wouldn't go through this, you know, proof, you know, burden of proof to prove that I had this relationship and this kid. But you know, it made me mad, and it made me, you know, and I still get mad about it, but I've learned in this, you know, with people that if you look at, for example, Anna's legal battles. There's players on one side that are dead, multiple people, a couple people, and then you have Daniel's gone, Anna's gone, and it's like, do you want to stay mad at someone forever? Do you want to be angry, you know, forever? Do you want to live your life fighting people, and just because somebody might have done something or said something to you or about you or whatever? Or does it, the big picture at the end of the day is when I can go into the nursery now and scoop up my child, and that's what's important. It's not, let me go back and rewind this 7 or 8 months and see if I can fight, you know, anybody for something that they've done, because really I got what I set out to. Now I can't get the time that I lost back, and I have to have extra energy sometimes, and I have to do more things than I normally would on a daily basis, because I have to, you know, feel like I have to make up for lost time. But I mean, anger, I don't know if that's going to help me or my daughter, because I'm sure that she's going to be able to sense that, you know, something's wrong with me, and so I have to even just overdo it, you know, and I get mad, I get sad, I get happy, I get sad again, and I get mad again, and it's just, it's a cycle. And you go from, why did you do this, to why do I have to deal with this? And then you also, on the flip side of that, I say sometimes, what did I do to deserve this? And then I'm holding my daughter and I say, well, what did I do to deserve this, in a positive way? So I try to look at everything from all angles.
Fatherhood. There's a magazine that recently came out, ranked Hollywood fathers. You're ranked number 6. Not bad, especially you're the only one, I should say, that's a single father. What's fatherhood? What's that all about? What's it like?
It's great. It's a lot of energy, a lot of time. It's a lot of patience, and it's rewarding. It's probably like my biggest accomplishment throughout, you know, my life. I've had different jobs like sales, and before I, you know, went into journalism and got through college, and I've had like sales awards. I've had plaques that say, you know, this, that, you know, the other, and top this, top that, and nothing compares to being a father and listening to those cries.
I don't know if the viewers can hear it at the microphone, but we can hear it. I noticed the first time you faintly heard Dannielynn cry, I saw your head sort of turned to the side. You do hear it ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
It's first we see your head turn, and then I hear the noise.
It's this superpowered sense I think I have that I just go running, and she probably wants to play. But she's.
We should say she's attended, but she's there with someone taking care of her. Yeah,
she's not just crying.
Yeah, she's not just crying, right?
That'll be in the next magazine next week.
Yeah, the next tabloid. Larry Birkhead
I just fell to number 10 on the list.
Yeah, now you're 400. What was it like when you first laid eyes on her? And where was this?
This was in the Bahamas, and it was shortly after the hearings in Florida, and we had to decide on the burial and all that, and Howard asked if I wanted to come over and see the baby. Of course, the answer is yes. And she was just kind of laying in the crib, and she just immediately just was clinging to me, and she'd grab onto me, she'd pinch my cheek, she'd put her hands on my face, and I thought one of my biggest fears, I think, was that she was gonna reject me. And I was gonna have to say, "Here, you take her back," or something, but she didn't, and it was kind of magical, that was like the delivery room for me, because I never got that, and I never got to.
You're emotional about all this, aren't you? It's hard on you.
Well, it's.
Understandably so. I didn't mean it, but I mean I visibly, it's very visible. Let me ask you this. Which part about all this just gets you the most? I mean, where's the biggest sense of heartache?
My relationship with Anna was never a fairy tale story, carry over the threshold. It was, we had some bickers, we went back and forth, but that was part of it. And my whole thing with that even though sometimes I'm soft-spoken or I don't speak, I'm truthful when I speak. And so sometimes that made us clash. So we'd have these little arguments back and forth, and no matter what kind of argument it was, it would just take time, and everything would go away. So I felt like this whole thing was just one more extended version of one of the smaller things that we were arguing about, because the actual argument was something trivial. There were probably things that she wasn't saying to me behind the scenes that led her to do certain things, and when the trivia was about sunglasses, and what started the last fight, wasn't it? The last fight was over sunglasses.
Which was stupid.
Which was very stupid, but I don't think she didn't take off out of here to the Bahamas because of sunglasses. It was, there were things going on in her head that she didn't really share with me. And I just thought that this was just going to go away. And as we got closer and closer in all this back and forth, the legal stuff and everything, I thought that she was just basically going to say, okay. Because no matter what people see out there on television, me going to a courthouse, people think that's like this big war, which in a way I understand the perception of that, but there was still communication with the two of us behind the scenes all the way up until just a couple weeks before she died.
And by going to the courthouse, it was over the paternity issue. Between the time the baby was born, you initiated paternity almost immediately.
Almost immediately, because I knew without a doubt the child was mine, because I sit and you plan and you prepare for all this, and the problem is no one else knew. And because no one else knew, it became a mystery. And then people wanted to solve the mystery. But no one jumped up from day one and said, this is my child. And when I went to a courthouse, it wasn't like I was having, even though you might come out, you can rewind all the footage and you'll see me smiling or coming out, and I might jump up when I hear the results or whatever. There's a little bit of celebration and achieving something, but I don't have a sense of victory like I defeated somebody. I just did what I felt was right in my instinct to fight for my daughter. And the first day I ever went to court, basically I became sick to my stomach, because that was the last place I wanted to be. And she is.
How old is she now?
She'll be 9 months tomorrow.
Any surprises about fatherhood? This is your first?
Yes. Surprises. The hours.
The hours? What kind of hours are there?
Long hours.
24/7?
I mean, for the most part. I mean, I have some help to help me, but she, if she needs me, I'm there I'm available 24 hours for her, but she's a great baby. She's happy.
She is. Look at that. She is. She bounces a lot.
She loves to bounce. She loves music. And
she does?
Yes.
Can she dance?
She tries to.
Okay.
You want to try to dance?
So she's just about standing with help, right?
Yeah. She needs a little help. But she loves, if there's any music going, she will definitely goes to the music. She's got rhythm.
How fun is it to wake her and have her smile at you?
I love it in the morning. She's a really happy baby. Whenever she wakes up, she's always she's just in a great mood, and she loves attention. She loves pulling on my hair, and she likes to beat me up sometimes. But
She's been holding this since we arrived.
There's certain things that she just grabs onto and she won't let go. Sometimes that's me, and sometimes it's not. It depends on what her mood is.
Boy, you know, it's just extraordinary how your life has changed in 1 year.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just too hard to believe that this is. And sometimes I sit there. Well, she affects my every decision, and when people ask me to do things or travel and little things like, you want to go ride roller coasters? I'm like, what if something happened to me on a roller coaster and she's left by herself, or I just get real paranoid, and like just somebody says, well, let's go out to dinner or let's go for a trip somewhere, and I just can't go. I can't, now that I have her, I just can't see separating from her anytime.
I suppose there's a real obvious answer to this, but let me ask you anyway. Was it worth all the fight?
Oh yeah.
Was it worth the fight for her?
Yeah. She's my little princess.